All right, looks like we are ready. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Pradeep from Armwrestling News, and today we are going to discuss East versus West 5 and East versus West 6 along with our special regular guest now, Mr. Paul Lin. How are you doing, brother?
Doing good, doing good. Friday, day off of work after Thanksgiving. Stomach's full. I'm probably like 110 kilograms now. Not really, but yeah, doing well.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
You're massive. So when I was editing the thumbnail of this live stream, so our length from like torso length, that was about equal in the photos, but you were looking so wide, so I had to stretch my photo a little bit so I can look somewhat comparable.
Thank God for Photoshop. Gotta love it.
Editing skills on point. All right. SG Records in the house. So let's go. Did you get to meet Roman there? Roman, SG Records.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I think he was filming for Arm Wars. He had a camera in the stands most of the time. He actually mic'd me up during a couple of matches. I have no idea what I said. So I don't know where that audio is going to go, but I'm waiting for it to come up.
I don't think he was filming for Arm Wars. Maybe you're confusing him with Jason Statham, the guy that was with Neil.
No, I'm talking about the Georgia. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Then you're
filming the entire event, like in the stands, like behind the scenes stuff. I'm not sure where that stuff's going to go, but we'll see.
Yeah. So how is the arm? I doubt that you may have gotten any sore after that match.
I mean, I did some after pulling with the Lebanese team and stuff, and Mark Basile and some of those guys. So I mean, it's a little bit sore, but just the same like a practice. No damage or anything like that.
Yeah. So. Roman is saying he was filming for Engin and himself. Okay. I had Arm Wars mic. Yeah, he's saying that he had Arm Wars mic with him.
Yeah, I have no idea what I said. That thing was on me and I was talking all kinds of crazy and I forgot it was there, so who knows?
Yeah. Master Jack is saying Paul Lin is the Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of arm wrestling. I don't know who these guys are. Nicest guy, but mad guy on the table.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's like the split personality thing. So yeah.
All right.
I'll take that.
All right. JR Williams, what's up, Pradeep? What's up, brother? We are doing great. So, talking about your undefeated streak at Arm Wars, how at East versus West, how long do you think it is going to continue?
With Rustam coming up, I guess the odds are not too favorable. But we'll see. I 2-0, I wouldn't really call a winning streak yet. There has to. I don't know if there's not enough data, but no, yeah, we'll see. This next one is going to be probably biggest test of my life, I would say. So I got
Robert Gold, of course, it is live. Robert Gold is asking, is it pre-recorded or live? So I don't remember many of your matches. Like, can you just briefly recap your matches from last 2-3 years, like the super matches that you may have had in that period? Maybe that some of them we are forgetting.
The last couple years, there was obviously the John Brzenk match, then followed by the Ron Bath match, and then East versus West, and then we had the BJ Fukakis match at Monster Factory. So those are the 4 most recent. And then, previously WAL matches and some things of that nature and the tournaments and all that good stuff. So I've really only, I guess, I've been, for this past year, I've been exclusively super matches. I was thinking about it the other day because the rankings people hit me up and asked me when the last time I pulled left. And I pulled some tournaments here and there, but I can't remember dates. So they're looking at dropping my left arm off the rankings because I guess it's been close to a year since I've pulled left arm in a regular tournament. So yeah, this past year has been pretty much exclusively super matches.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any insight or inside information about your upcoming opponent, Rustam Babayev? Like, we have not seen him compete recently. Nowhere recently. He appeared in a few videos on Arm God's channel. Like, was he anyway affected by the war? Like, what was his situation last couple of years? Did you talk with him or anything?
No, I have not spoken with him, but so I don't know if Todd Hutchings was his most recent match, but right around that time frame, like the top 8 time frame before COVID, I think is when he went kind of inactive. So I know they said he took about 2 years off, no real training, no matches. To my understanding, he's now in the UK,
Yeah.
and he's back to training with Paul Maiden's team over there. So if my memory serves me correct, he's been over there for maybe 2 or 3 months now. So I think he's got 2 or 3 months of training under his belt. So I know Ingham was like, well, he took some time off. Maybe the match will be a little bit closer. But I got to believe that if he's over there with Paul and that big UK team, he's probably getting back to form. So I don't know the details on why he went to the UK or what happened, but it's my understanding that he's over there. And I know Paul had reached out for potential matches over there in the UK or Ireland as well. So I basically said, like, I got to see what's going on with East versus West. Because right now I'm prioritizing East versus West. And I'm based off of Angen's schedule, I'm kind of building my schedule around it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Robert Gold is saying, I knew he tested positive for a banned substance few years ago. I'm not aware of that. I am not aware of that. Okay, war not way. Okay. And about war, off completely off topic, but in last couple of weeks I've got like almost the same dream 3 times in last couple of weeks, that I'm in the military and there is a war happening and we are almost 400 500 soldiers, and the other country has like 2 3,000, and we know that we are screwed. There is absolutely no way that we can win this. And at that time I had only two thoughts in my mind. First of all, let me make a video like for the viewers and for my family, like any final message, because I thought like we're screwed now. And second of all, it became like a game of football. Like before the time ends, like I need to score something. I need to score something. So I'm literally praying to God, just let me kill a couple of those guys. Like I don't want to die with a zero score. Like that would be the most pathetic life I've ever lived. My
You
only
better
hope
look
was
at
to just
Boomer.
kill a guy or two before I die. That
You
was it.
better look it up. You better look the meaning of that up. If you had it 3 times, it might be worth looking into, especially if you can remember it. Normally, I have repeated dreams, I forget them.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about the matches that have been confirmed, I just recorded a video about it. It will be uploaded maybe in a couple of hours on my channel. What is up with RVJ? Like, why are we not discussing these topics enough? RVJ sets up a match against Ryan Bowen at King of the Table. They are ready to announce it and everything. Well, my business is important. I'm canceling this match. RVJ sets up a match against Zurab Tavbaridze. Engin sets it up for him. East versus West 5. He cancels it. He postpones it to East versus West 6. He cancels it once again. Like, why? When is the arm wrestling community going to talk about these things? And people say that Pradeep is not an arm wrestler. I would proudly say that I'm much more of an arm wrestler than what RVJ is at this point of time. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I know Rob. I converse back and forth with Rob, and actually, like in person, Rob's like a great dude. I get along with really well. We have like similarities in personalities. Rob is like, I don't even know how to define it. Neil said it, like, if you're going to build an arm wrestler like from scratch genetically, Rob is pretty much it. So, huge hand, huge, just natural strength, bone structure, everything. He's perfectly built for arm wrestling, and he's been so good from right away, and he's been pulling for so long. And Rob's personality, I think, like he has trouble balancing, so he's hot and cold. Like when things are going on or something piques his interest, like Ryan Bowen talks a whole lot, starts chirping, that'll get Rob's interest. But it's one of those things where it's not always sustainable. And to me, I always look at it like from sports in general, it's like the gift and the curse of being the most talented. Like when you are so naturally talented and you can be good at things without really trying, it's easy to lose interest in them, or it's easy to lose interest in the focus and preparation for them. So like even when we saw Rob go over and pull Sasha, like the backstory on that was it was like a short notice match. He wasn't prepared. And during that time, he didn't really, like, he's notorious for taking high level matches and not really preparing to the best of his ability. And I think a lot of that has to do with him just balancing his family, kids, and priorities. So yeah, I think it's a combination of those gifts and natural abilities, along with Rob's just sometimes disinterest in the sport, or maybe being burned out by the sport. So I think that's kind of why we saw that pattern. I would
Yeah.
absolutely love to get that guy back though, because his charisma, his personality, and his genetic gifts are undeniable.
Yeah, but I never understood one comment that most of the arm wrestlers always make, like, I have a family to take care of. Like, who doesn't have a family? That is my question. Like, why is it even an excuse? Like, when everyone has the same thing, like, why do we even need to mention that he has a family to take care of? Everyone has a family to take care of.
Right. Me personally, like I have a lot going on. Like you know how hard it is to nail me down.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I got so many spoons in the pot, that trying to balance things is tough. But what I personally try and do is I try not to accept unless I know I can make it happen. So I'll ponder an offer and make sure that everything's in place before I accept it. So I try to just say, all right, if I'm going to accept this, I am going to make it priority number one. I'm going to vet it through all the channels, make sure my wife's okay with it, make sure I can get off of work. I think sometimes people in the moment might accept matches down the road and then, maybe not quite prioritize them to that top level and things will come up. But I mean, it's human nature. This is life, things are going to come up. There's going to be times like with Devin and his kid having surgery, like things are going to come up that are unavoidable for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know the feeling, but there's definitely a way to work around it. I always say this about training. Like so often people reach out to me about training and they'll say, I don't have enough time. And I'm like, everyone has enough time. It's all about your priorities. If you prioritize it high enough, you will make the time. You'll get
Yeah.
up early or you'll go to bed late.
Yeah.
There's always some extra time to fit in there if it's a priority.
Mm. Sab the Bee saying this is with thing with Rob is that he always has an excuse if he loses, he wasn't motivated or prepared. So let me make this question more easy for you. Leave Rob away. Let's say you are an organizer and I'm an arm wrestler. You set me a match with someone and the match is being promoted, everything is finalized, but at the last moment I tell you that, well, I have a good business deal that I need to take care of, so the match is off. How are you going to look forward to our relationship between as a promoter and an arm wrestler in the future after that?
So that's the cost of doing that, right? So like every day is an interview. You only get one opportunity for a first impression. So if I'm the promoter and you bail on me last second, that's my first impression of you. Maybe I give you grace in my head, like and say, okay, I understand because we're all human beings and I know something came up and I understand. It's hard though to get out of your head from the promoter perspective that happened. It's just like data, like, all right, I offered one match, backed out at the last minute. Because of that, there's a strong possibility that your opportunities will diminish. So that's really the price of doing it, is just the relationship aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Priorities, but Rob shouldn't book matches that he can't hold. It's annoying. Okay, Dengin Terret. This is the first time I heard this name. So before we talk about more matches, and another match that has been cancelled is between Alizan Muratov and Oleg Zok on the left arm for East versus West 6. It was scheduled. Now it is cancelled because earlier the weight category was at 90 kilos. Their weight cap was 90 kilos. Now the category has been changed 85 and 95. Alizan Muratov doesn't want to come below 95 and Oleg Zok doesn't want to pull above 90 kilos. So that match is called off by Engin. And after looking at Alizan Muratov's performance at WAF, that was amazing. Engin told us that he was weighing around 93 kilos. He had to force feed himself a lot and wear a ton of clothes just to weigh 100 kilos because WAF allows you only to pull one weight category up. So if you weigh in at 91 kilos, you can pull in 100 plus, not 110 plus. So he had to force feed himself to get to 100 kilos just so he can compete in 110 plus. And he still dominated everyone in 110 plus on the left arm, super heavyweights, and he won everything. Like,
That's interesting. I did not know that you had to get to a certain weight to pull up one category. That's
yeah.
very interesting.
And he still,
People,
so maybe
it's
it was a
easy for
smart
people,
decision. Yeah.
yeah, it's easy for people to be like, oh man, how can he gain weight? All you got to do is just eat food, just eat ice cream. Man, coming from anybody who has spent their life trying to gain weight, gaining weight is so much harder and mentally taxing than losing it when it's hard for you to gain. So I mean, that's a I would have probably go the same route as him. Let me just wear 3 layers of clothes and put like put some water bottles in my pocket rather than trying to force food.
Yeah. All right. An interesting comment from J.R. Williams was he wants to know about your thoughts about what Devon said in that interview, and you were there. So I think we already know Paul's thoughts about Devon's comments about live stream commentary and instant reviews being douchey. Paul agrees with them with those comments, but we need to ask him why does he agree with those comments.
Well, yeah, I probably should have provided more clarity even based off of our discussions afterwards, because so for me, it when you look at the big picture, right? So the way Engen's business model is built around getting the pay-per-view buys. Those pay-per-view subscriptions is what is funding his event primarily. He's not doing what Michael Todd and some of these other guys do, where they go out and they procure sponsors to cover all of their overhead. And then whatever else they make over that is just pure profit. They're already in the green or they're in the break-even mark. So Engen has a lot of anxiety about the pay-per-views. He's 15 matches. That's, roughly 30, that's 30 paychecks he has to write out. So when you look at that and say, okay, Engen is this whole card is based off of how many people buy the pay-per-view. Like I buy the pay-per-view even though I'm on it, just to make sure that I at least do my part.
Yeah.
And I make sure as many people I know will buy it as well. But the flip side is when you look at this, and Engen himself did not say anything about live stream commentary. He has not made a statement. So in that context,
he actually did in yesterday's live stream. He did say that, and I'm not sure if it is a wise statement to make because we're going to discuss it further. What he said was that I'm going to ask people to not to do these live stream commentaries in the future, and if they still do, I'm going to cut connections with them. I'm not sure if it is a smart move to do, but you please go ahead.
Yeah, so that's news to me. In the moment, he didn't make a comment. So it was my assumption. It was me making an assumption that was his stance. So I heard your points, and so I'm looking at it from Engen's perspective. How could he possibly perceive it? So if you perceive a live stream commentary as another option for people to not buy the pay-per-view, that could be potentially negative to the pay-per-view sales, because there's always going to be some people who, let's say they have an issue with Core Sports. And for instance, Core Sports won't take a debit card. Like even last time I tried to buy it, I'm sitting like in the airplane trying to buy it, and it wouldn't take my debit card, and I couldn't figure it out. And I had to text somebody else. You have to use an actual credit card. Yeah. So if I'm a person who's trying to buy the pay-per-view in the moment, I might turn to a live stream commentary and say, all right, this is my next best option. Or if I'm somebody who's just 1 foot in and 1 foot out and is cheap and doesn't want to spend any money, then I'm going to go to the live stream commentary from the commentator that I like the most. Maybe it's Ryan Bowen, maybe it's you, maybe it's, Aussie arm wrestler, maybe it's John, Uncle John. So it's an option for people to get a similar experience without paying the money. The points you made were, well, I'm going on here, I'm putting the pay-per-view link in here so that anybody who's listening to me and is interested can flip over and then buy it. So I see both points. It's really how you perceive it. Now, again, in the moment, I didn't know Engen's perspective, but what I was saying at the time is like, if Engen is not okay with it, I think all he needs to do is reach out to the community, and most people will comply because everyone respects Engen. And it's like, don't get mad at me for doing something that you don't like if I don't know you don't like it, But if you tell me you don't like it, then I can adjust my behavior.
I agree.
So where we stand right now, anything that has happened prior, in my opinion, is no harm, no foul. But if he moves forward and said, hey, can we please not do this? Then I think in the community it's something we need to evaluate. And I know Engen can be like, he will cut ties, the guy, he'll block people and excommunicate them. So I don't always. I understand his perspective. He doesn't want any negatives around him, and he just cuts them off. But sometimes that can be a little bit extreme.
So far I agree 100% with everything you said, especially about the part where if you are struggling to buy the pay-per-view, you may not make that extra effort to talk with your friends if someone has a credit card or something, and may resort to watching just a live stream and just call it a day there. I agree with that part, but many people are saying that, like KD, or some comment was there, like I literally bought the pay-per-view because of your live stream, and I've got like 5 6 of those comments. At least 5 6 people have confirmed that, and I'm sure there are dozens of people like that who are telling me, like, if 10 people are telling me that I bought the pay-per-view because of your live stream, imagine how many are there who just,
Yeah.
it is like giving reviews. If Amazon has 1,000 reviews on a product, maybe 50,000 people bought that product. Like 10 people have given me reviews that they bought the pay-per-view just because of my live stream.
Right. It's almost like you need data on it. You know what I mean? Like it's like an advertisement for the pay-per-view. It's like free advertising, but then it's also like an option to get around it. So really it depends less on the live stream itself and more the intent of the people that are going to it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I think it has pros and cons. And this is something that's been going on. Like you said, something's been going on forever. Devin's done, like a lot of people's done it. And I think the reason why Devin mentioned that in that moment was really in relation to Engen, because he understands how Engen's business model works,
Yeah.
you know?
But so far, I don't think we have any clear data as to if the live streams are hurting the pay-per-views and or not. And I think
I
that the
don't
way
believe
Devon
that.
addressed this issue was absolutely absurd, especially coming from a guy who has done much worse than that on his own YouTube channel. This is something that I had a problem with, and I think there could have been a better way to ask about it, like as a request, because people are owning these channels. Like, you just cannot order them what they can or cannot do on their channel. You have to request them, because we're not showing any audio, we're not showing any video. There is absolutely no way that anyone can tell us what we should or shouldn't do. Only way is to request. And I think, as you already said, that if Engin asks people, most of them are going to comply. I
Yeah.
think this is the right way. Mighty Silverback is mentioning, Pradeep, I asked him and he clarified he didn't mean yourself. Maybe he's talking about Devon, that, but he just talked about everyone who does that, and I'm someone who does that. So naturally, I'm going to think that it was for me as well. I'm going to ask you one question, Paul. Like, or mention one thing, a story. Like in India, when in the late 90s, early 2000s, electricity was a big problem. So whenever there was a cricket match and suddenly there was a power cut, especially in the villages, like we used to get electricity for like 5 6 hours in a day maximum, or maybe
Yeah.
10 hours a day. So most of the times there was no electricity, and you can, as soon as there was a power cut during India cricket match, you can literally see, like, hear the whole village shouting. Like, you, as soon as there is a power cut and the cricket match is going on, and at that time there was not so many electrical appliances during
Yeah.
night, the atmosphere was like almost silent. You can hear everything from a mile away as well. You can literally hear the whole city, whole
Everybody getting
village
pissed.
literally shout, like everyone right
Recently.
at the same time. So
Yeah.
what then what we did was immediately switch to radio. Now I'm not
Mhm.
sure if radio companies back then needed to buy some license or something to commentate on matches, but what we are doing on our live streams is no different than a live stream, like a radio commentary on a cricket match. So it is being done even before these YouTube internet age. Radio was the simple thing.
Yeah,
So who
yeah,
tried to stop
radio
radio?
it was everything. When you go back before the like 80s and 90s,
Yeah,
like boxing matches, especially
radio.
like the big heavyweight fights, people would gather around a radio for them. Same with baseball. I do believe that there was some sort of rights there was some form of purchase or payment in order to be able to broadcast that, because similar to everything else we do, there were commercials and ads on there. There was money and revenue drawn from that in some way, shape, or form. But I mean, radio was king before television for sporting events, and that's all it was. People just sat around a radio and listened to commentary.
Yeah, I think we can find something like a mutual agreement where there is some benefit for the organizer as well. Like, if I pull up the data of my live stream, the revenue that I made from 8 hour live stream, I did 8 hour plus live stream, a few seconds more than 8 hours. So I made around $245 from that, $245.96. Out of that, $150 was super chat revenue, and about $95 I got from ad revenue. So let's take a number between these, because the super chat revenue was not really for for the live stream. It was for me personally. So I'm not sure if I would like to share that or not. But $100, almost $100 that I got from the live stream. How about I use these $100 to purchase 6, 7, 8 or whatever the math is, that many pay-per-views, plus I add something from my own, and in every live stream we display some codes, like for people
That's
to
an
purchase, like
interesting
a
concept.
donation for pay-per-views.
That's an interesting concept. Now, what I would say is the better utilization of the money would be to directly put it to Angin's GoFundMe or send him a PayPal, because there are fees built in that purchase of that pay-per-view. And which is why, I'm saying to Angin, is there any way that you can get more sponsors? Because sponsors are tax-free, fee-free, financing for the event. And I know, I don't think his sponsors are big, heavy money sponsors, but to me, that's the easiest form of compensation. I don't know if he'd be open to that or not. You never know. But I mean, to me, it's a good pitch. And when you look at it, and this is the other thing, I think a lot of people need to understand about YouTube. There's a lot of misconceptions. They think you're sitting on here going live and getting rich and everything, and you're not. So if you're on that live stream for the entirety of it, 5 hours, and
8.
you made 95, and you made $95. You said 8 hours, $95. You're making $10 an hour. That is, when I look at things like that, and I think all right, how much effort do I want to put into YouTube? I'm like, man, I could go outside and cut the neighbor's lawn and make more money per hour than that. There's so many other better things to do. So the flip side is okay, at the end of the day, if you didn't do that live stream, you'd have 8 hours of your life back. You could sit back and watch and enjoy the event yourself and have less stress. And you're only out $90. So it doesn't kill you to say, all right, I'm not going to do it anymore. But the flip side is, well, what if I took that $95 and we share it? Yeah. So there's options there. And I mean, it's interesting concept. And you know what? If you, Ryan, John, and Jake, you guys all said the same thing, that'd be a nice little chunk of change to donate to the event. But again, that comes back to Angin's perspective. It'd be interesting to know what he thinks.
Yeah, and many interesting comments. Almost, I've just briefly read some of the comments, and almost all of them are in support of these live commentaries. And someone was mentioning that these live streams are the best thing to generate awareness about the event, because even till the last time, even 30 minutes before the event, everyone is asking where can we purchase the pay-per-view? When is the event? When is the event? What time IST?
This is the data. It's okay, how many unique, what do they call it in YouTube? Unique, whatever. What is the data? What's the stat called for Ryan Bowen always talks about it.
Unique viewers.
Impressions or whatever. How many unique impressions does that live stream garner? And what is the potential loss in pay-per-view purchases? We can't quantify the loss in pay-per-view purchases because I don't know how you would ever gather that data. But really, it's the weighing of those two things. Is this free advertisement and expansion on awareness of this event worth the loss of a few
100,000 impressions from that live stream?
Yeah, you know what you should do, Pradeep? You should get Angin on, and you guys should have an open dialogue about this live. Because it would be in its purest form, non-written, things that you can think about. Just get them on and talk about it. I'd be interested. That to me would be an interesting topic that I'd like to see where it flows to.
Yeah, because I can tell it to everyone and anyone straightforward that I think it is a really, really bad idea trying to tell people not to do these live streams. But just because Angin is such a legend and he's doing so much, reluctantly, if he asks us to do that, we may have to accept, just because our relationship with Angin Terzi is much more important than we gaining probably 300-400 subscribers and $200-300 from that live stream. And the main thing is about the algorithm, the subscribers that you're going to get. If nobody's doing that, then it is perfectly fine. But if one YouTuber keeps on doing that, then he's going to gain 50,000-60,000 extra views, extra subscribers. We do not want to be left behind. And with that being said, I'll come back to you. I'll first read a super chat from Mark Skigera. Thank you very much, brother, for 75 dirham super chat. Silencing live streamers is the worst thing anyone can do. It has no legal precedent. It is
No,
unconstitutional and an affront to journalism. Not to mention, it is attacking YouTubers' ability to earn more from ads and super chats. Okay, another super
right.
chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
just one second. Another super chat. Just so everyone knows, Robert Gould, thank you very much, brother. Massive super chat. Just so everyone knows, you can use your debit card with my bank. Okay, I have to call first to allow international orders, then
Yeah,
works every time.
that's what it is. You're right, Robert. Thank you for that clarification. That is what holds it up. That is
So
what holds it up.
Mark Skigera, he's involved in sports, like he runs a tennis academy or something. I don't know the details. What about his comment? Is saying that it is the worst thing if you want to silence the YouTubers.
So I understand the journalistic aspect, okay, but you're probably the only channel that is journalistic, right? So, and I think your motives are very clear in that you're taking a journalist approach. The rest of them, not a dig on any of them, but this is what they're doing, like financially, whatever. In any case, I understand the perspective, and we shouldn't silence the media.
I'm also doing financially. I think anyone who's saying that he's doing anything and finance is not one of the motives is a complete liar. I'm also doing
Oh,
it
that's
for
me. What do you mean?
yeah.
I don't care. How many times I said, hey, you can have my
No,
channel.
but
If you can
still
have
there
it,
is something
let's
like
link it to your
if
bank
no,
account.
Paul, I don't believe if Engin tells you that
Yeah.
you're not going to get paid any money, you just have to come there by yourself and compete there. What are you going to tell Engin?
I'd probably still do it. I'm being honest, dude.
I don't
I
think so.
love the event.
I
I've
don't
already
think so.
gone. I would. I've spent my entire like 5 years of arm wrestling, first 5 years, just spending money out of the ass, going everywhere and just loving it. Because at that point, my motivation was like intrinsic in enjoyment. So obviously, as you get a little bit better, you get a little bit more offers, you can get swayed a little bit by the money. I'd be lying if I said it. But I
Hmm.
think like when you talk about like that perspective, like so like the best parents, like who parent kids, I think will take into account if the kid had like generations ago, your parents would be like, do it because I said so. You don't get an opinion, shut up. That's how it was back in the day. Parents now progressively are allowing their kids to have like make a point and have a thought. So like treating Angan like if Angan would sit down and say, okay, Pradeep, what are your thoughts on this? And then weigh it and say, okay, all right, I see what you're saying. At the end of the day, if your dad says no, you're going to do it because I said so, we're going to just all comply and be like, okay, you're right, Dad. And again, if you don't want me to do it, we won't do it. You know what I mean? But I think like that dialogue to get to that point, Engen's a very reasonable person. I actually think that the dialogue and the discussion would be very interesting. And I think a lot of people would be interested in listening to it.
Yeah. And you have many insights on this topic as well. I would love to involve you in that discussion. That would be amazing.
Sure.
And Robert Gould is saying Paul Lynn is very well spoken. He seems very thoughtful. And Mark is saying that, where is Mark's comment? Dictators, no matter how charming and legendary they are, will always be, at the end of the day, be dictators. So,
Yeah.
Paul, I'd love to ask you one thing. Like, first of all, this is not even a question. Everyone knows that the most growth that arm wrestling has seen is in last couple of years. I think
Mhm.
everyone agrees with that statement. Maybe 2.5 years after the COVID times. What do you think was the major reason for that growth in the sport of arm wrestling?
So a lot of this stuff really hinges around, again, we can come back to the social media platform. I was talking to Travis Bajent the other day. We were talking about half an hour on the phone. We are talking about the expansion and stuff and like, things that happen. I talked to Michael Todd about this too. Like when did Devin, I asked Michael, when did Devin's channel take off? How long has that channel been around? And he couldn't really come up with when did it start? When did it take off? But really, when you look at like the beginning of like the renaissance of arm wrestling, it stems around a couple opportunities that we had. We had Game of Arms, right, which was big time publicity, millions of views, immediate, like was AMC's top show for the first couple weeks. Then we move forward to Devin
W.
and the Mountain, Devin and the Mountain
Yeah.
on Wrestling. That was pivotal.
Mhm.
Then Devin gets to go on ESPN or Sports Center with
NBA.
Shaq
Or
and
Shaq,
everybody.
Shaq.
That was huge. That was mega. So at that point, Devin's social media became exponential. And Devin really carried the sport forward. Now, then we had COVID. So a lot of people talk about like, did COVID force the exposure to arm wrestling? I don't know if it necessarily did, because COVID killed the WAL. Whether that's a good or bad thing in this whole perspective or not, the WAL was then that piece after some of these things that happened. During WAL, that's when Devin went on Sports Center and everything. That was a really good point there as well. But now COVID killed a lot of promotions. We see no more top 8, we see no more WAL, yet we still see arm wrestling in like a better place. And I think a lot of that has to do with the independence of it. During COVID, arm wrestlers developed an independence. People like Devin Larratt and Michael Todd said, no more contracts. We're done with that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we can go do it ourselves. We have a platform. We have a reach. We can get sponsors based on the statistics that we have on YouTube and Facebook and these different social media platforms. It was like an empowering moment for arm wrestling. And then you enter in King of the Table, Larry Wheels, huge part of the growth, huge part, because we're digging into other demographics. We got Larry Wheels, Juji Mufu, we got Brian Shaw, we got these different guys getting involved, and it's really, really exponential. And then you usher in Angan. So Angan is doing something that is not just focused on the West. Everything else that we talked about there was all in the West. Social media, entertainment driven. Now Angan's bridging the gap into the East, where the pure arm wrestling fans are. The ones that aren't as interested in the pageantry, but just the pure arm wrestling.
Yeah.
So I think all those things kind of led to where we're at. And because of that, now, like locally, like in the United States, there are matches and tournaments every single weekend. I could book every weekend without a problem for a year. No problem with arm wrestling in the United States. And that's a product of all these things, I think.
Yeah. So I've also been following arm wrestling for about 5 years now. And I think I can say with some confidence that the growth in those first 3 years was nothing compared to what we have seen in the last couple of years. Especially, I think if arm wrestling has 1 million fans today, I think out of those millions, probably 650,000 people came in just last 3 years.
We need that data. I wonder if there's a way to do that.
Yeah, maybe we can ask. Like, I made a poll on YouTube and asking people. At that time, the channel was small, so maybe I got a couple of thousand votes in that, and about 60% people, I think it was, they said that they started watching arm wrestling after 2019 or 20. After 2020, it was. So we can do that again. I'm quite sure that poll is going to be for sure above 50-60%.
Some of the key things that we missed in there was like Schoolboy. I left Schoolboy.
Schoolboy.
Huge. So all these people going viral on these different platforms, now there's more searches with the keyword of arm wrestling. You know what I mean? And there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to it. So much has happened in 6 years.
Yeah. And I think the key to selling pay-per-views or just creating interest and hype around an event is the volume of content around that particular thing. And to illustrate that further, I would like to give you one example. Do you know of Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate. Okay, so big story. Like people in the chat would for sure know that he was he was the most Googled man on the planet. He was banned because of the stuff he said about COVID and stuff about government and everything about women. He got banned from Instagram.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, from everywhere, Twitter, every single platform. So what he did is that he moved on to another platform, and whatever content he had ever, like he has an entire team looking at the videos that are being published, taken from his videos, and how many likes are on those videos, how many comments are on those videos. So what he said, that my content is free for everyone in the world. And now what people are doing, just making shorts, making clips out of his interviews, and earning thousands and thousands of dollars every month just from his interviews. And while being being banned from all of the platforms, he still drives like billions of views across all social media, anything and everything. You can just take a clip. You can do that. You just take a clip from any of his interview, post it on your channel. That is for sure going to get at least 500,000 views, irrespective of what the number of subscribers you have on your channel. And his content is free for everyone. Why did he do that? he could have put copyright claims or claimed like given strike to every single channel, but
Right.
he has another business to run. Like he has like his Hustlers University and bunch of other things. So he knows that as long as people are trying to post my contents, it is helping them and it is going to create volumes of content around my business.
It's hype. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
think it is the same
free
for Engin as well.
advertising.
The
It's free advertising.
yeah,
Yeah,
I have, if I combine both of my channels, Hindi channel and English channel, the views are way above 10 million views on both of my channels. Those views have not gone in vain. Like they must have created some hype around arm wrestling. And if it happens with everyone, like just imagine there is only and only Engin Terzi talking about his event. How popular
right,
is it going to be? How popular
right.
can it possibly be if there is not a volume
Yeah,
of content?
you need chatter amongst other people.
Yeah,
You can't be your own sole promoter.
yeah,
You can. We rely on warm market in this sport.
yeah.
It's a niche community. Me
Hmm.
making a video to promote my local tournament that I host here at Keystone, and me putting it out everywhere is of less value than saying to my niche community friends, do me a favor and share this to your warm market. That's the only way that it gets exponential. So I see the
Okay.
perspective.
Okay, Lornet W is saying other YouTubers are active arm wrestlers, so they also go to events. Pradeep not. He is a non-arm. He's a new non-arm wrestler journalist, and that is a good thing. I suggest Engin to invite Pradeep. Engin invited me for this event as well, and he's probably going to invite me for the next event as well. And I think it may not, it for sure will not happen. But what if like Engin is saying that I don't like these live commentaries, please don't do that. I know we are also earning money from that, but what if the entire arm wrestling community says, let's make a deal. We're not going to make a single video ever about East versus West. Can Engin promote it all by himself? All of his live streams are, let's say, going to get 10,000 views, and he does
Yeah,
15 live streams, 150,000 views. Is that 150,000 views, 200,000 views? Is that enough to promote a pay per view?
it depends. So it really depends on the maturity of the event. Like I think that this last event did a big service to Engen. Like in theory, he's going to be able to live off the residual promotion of this last event. Like he could probably do a couple more, just promote him himself and still see growth. It might not be as much growth, but I think he's coming really close to a sustainable business model. But the flip side is if nobody's talking about it, it's still lost advertising. So
Hmm.
could it still progress? Yes, but like it's like again, that's the cost benefit. Is the fear of losing some pay-per-view buyers, however many that number is, we can't quantify it. Is that of more value, the loss of them, or the avoiding the loss of them, or losing?
You're on mute. Mute. You're still on mute. Mute.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, I had a phone call coming in.
Your audio is really low. Like I can barely hear you.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's fine.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned that Engin is talking about live streams and not videos, and someone mentioned that if people do not have financial incentive to promote the event, they're not going to do that, and which is absolutely correct. I just cannot believe like me getting 65, 70,000 views on that live stream, and let's say Aussie getting 75, 80,000 views. If Ryan Bone did a commentary, he would have had probably 150,000 views. I don't think that is like, just ask the advertiser. That is also free publicity, by the way. Like if you're getting
Yes,
300,000 views, ask any advertiser how much they will be willing to pay for getting
absolutely.
300,000 views, and that is entirely talking about one single event.
So let me just bring it into this because this is an interesting concept in comparison from East versus West to what Michael Todd is doing at Monster Factory. Michael Todd does not charge.
Yeah.
Michael Todd has a sponsorship pamphlet that is very, very professional that he takes to potential sponsors. He has like platinum, gold, silver, bronze level that you can sponsor. With what you pay, you get commercials, integrations, you get your logo, you get these different things. This is what you get, right? So he goes and sells these sponsorships. He covers his overhead up front. And based on that, what he's saying, the product that he's given to the sponsors is, I am going to get over 1 million views on the different platforms. The demographic of those views is going to be males from 18 to 40. If that's a demographic that you want to advertise to, you are going to get this amount of unique impressions. So he's selling them a service and then not having to rely on the pay-per-view and the chance of losing money. Because Monster Factory 1, he lost money and he was like, I can't do this anymore. So it's interesting, the two different business models. The one is built solely on those impressions and giving sponsors what they need in the form of advertisement. And then Engen's is built off of pay-per-view buys. So the one thing I can say is worrying about pay-per-view buys is definitely stressful for Engen. You know what I mean? So I maybe it's lucrative, maybe it works out. He's rolling it back in. I do believe Engen does the right things for the right reason, which is why I support him. He's just lived by that kind of. But holy crap, I can only imagine like just sitting back and like waiting for the numbers to know if my personal bank account is going to get replenished. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And about most of these things, and I think I heard Engin say that as well about these live streams and that people immediately posting reviews. I think he mentions that he's being told that. I'm not sure who are the people who are telling Engin that, and I would like to know who they are, because then we can have an idea as to how educated they themselves are about this topic. I don't want, like, that would be a bad day if Engin is taking this advice from
yeah.
someone who himself doesn't really know about whether it is hurting
So,
pay-per-view or not.
again, this is another weird topic. Like, listen, it's almost like the Arm Wars thing, right? So Neil takes you over to Arm Wars. You go there, you have some crazy epic battle, and then you're sworn to secrecy for another month until the video edit comes out. That sucks. It's like being on a reality television show where you're somebody wins $1 million. Maybe you won $1 million and you can't tell nobody. So that's a tough situation, right? Invariably, the results are going to come out, right? There's just no way around that. So I understand the piracy aspect, but I mean, I even shared a video, and I think Engin might have been mad at me. Somebody made a TikTok with the 3 pins from my match, and I just shared it. And then we got like a message in the group chat that guys don't share the videos. And I didn't even think twice about it. For me, it was just like, oh, share the story. I just like automatically do it by like reflex. But it's tricky because that technically, I guess, is piracy. It's ripped from the screen. Like, I get it. But in my mind, it doesn't register in the moment. So it's impossible to protect the results, and people want to see them. And then if Engin goes and turns around and puts it on YouTube too quickly, there's no carrot to buy it either, So it's almost like that 5-day wait period that you got to wait for YouTube is the only carrot to buy it. There's a lot of things involved in this, and there needs to be like some open discussion.
And since you mentioned Arm Wars, their idea of hiding the results, that didn't really quite work out well, because by the time they started releasing the matches, nobody even knew. I am the news guy. I probably have a better memory than 99% of the Armwrestling community about what was happening, what is happening, and what is supposed to happen. And I didn't even know, like, when was that match supposed to happen? When did it actually happen? So if I didn't know about the matches, I don't think it was a good deal to hide the matches. And we can see that in the views as well. I don't think that thing worked at all. Like, there was literally zero benefit for that. And especially when I think most of the arm wrestlers on the card of Arm Wars, they are not popular anyways. 80-90% of the arm wrestling community do not even know about them. So hiding their match result, I don't think it makes any sense. If you're going to release the matches 6, 7, 8 months later, people are going to forget the result anyways. Like, do you remember the results of Arm Wars that was released like 6, 7 months ago? I don't think so. So what is the matter of what is the point in hiding the results?
So Neil has logic behind all of it. I am not as privy to Neil's business model. Now, we sat down and had dinner and he was talking about it, and some of it was making sense. And if I'm not wrong, the reason why it takes so long for them to come out is because the level of money and time that they put into production quality. So Arm Wars is focused on production quality. And the idea of taking a less famous arm wrestler and, hey, you come over here and pull Arm Wars and we will get your brand out there. We will highlight your personality, your charisma, and your character so that you have a footprint as a marketable person in the sport. So I understand that aspect, but yeah, like if we know these matches are going on and we know that it's happening like right now, like we want to know what happened, even if we can't see it. So just tell me what happened. You know what I mean? I'm still
Yeah.
watch it. So I know what you're saying. And you're right. What happens is you forget these matches even happen.
Yeah.
Like I can't, I know that they're happening, but because it's pseudo secretive, you lose track of it. It gets lost in the wash.
Yeah. And Mr. Rabbit was mentioning that Pradeep just don't like to be criticized. Nobody has criticized me. There is no criticism. If somebody is doing a live stream without showing audio or video, there absolutely can be zero criticism. You just simply cannot criticize that fact. And another thing that somebody mentioned in the chat, I forgot who it was, about copyright striking. People used screenshot images with just screenshots. If there were just screenshots, the viewers wouldn't know what happened in that video. So when you add audio on top of that, you explain what happened, that for sure comes under fair use. And Engin copyright struck everyone. I'm not sure if Engin did that or the team did that. Engin was aware of it or not. Like every single channel except mine, for some reason, everyone got some copyright strikes. Then they lifted the strikes. And I think Stacy Morgan or someone messaged me that they are playing with fire here. If you just
Yeah.
copyright strike everyone and somebody tries to rebuttal, tries to take them to court or something, then it
Yeah.
can
It's like
backfire.
criminal.
You just
It's like
cannot randomly
criminal.
copyright strike everyone when they're using fair use. Otherwise, your channel comes in trouble, and that can be a bad day. It was like one of the worst thing that I saw. They gave strike to literally everyone who was using just screenshots. And if anyone for some reason decides to take them to court or something or try to complain about it, they're going to be in trouble.
Didn't Ryan lose his like monetized Facebook for something similar where he messed up with fair use? I remember like maybe a year ago, and it was a big hit to Ryan financially. I think he lost like a month or 2 months with this. And I think like, and if it was a Facebook, like Ryan does serious numbers on Facebook. So like to me, that's scary. That's the other scary thing about saying, you
No,
know
that
what?
was a separate topic. That was a different discussion. He used a music that he had that he had
Was
purchased
it
the
music?
license for, but they said for some reason they didn't recognize the license.
I
But
thought it was
when you copyright strike someone on YouTube, like it is clearly mentioned that are you for sure, have you confirmed that this content is like not fair use or like he has completely
right.
stolen your content. And if you
I
mess
thought
with it
Ryan
too much,
was
it can backfire.
I thought Ryan's was because he used a video and like broke it down that he didn't know or that he didn't know. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But I'm just saying it's scary because like if you say I'm quitting my day job, I'm gonna be a full-time arm wrestling social media guy. Like imagine if your number one revenue source just goes away because you made a mistake. That's
Yeah.
scary stuff.
Yeah.
Like guess what, guys? You're not getting paid this month. Have fun.
Yeah. Either build a new YouTube channel or work for free. New
Yeah, and you got
Facebook
to start
channel.
from scratch. Imagine arm wrestling TV having to start from scratch. You know, like you build a million subscribers, and then it.
Yeah.
And I remember Alex got his YouTube hacked at one point. He had to battle to get it back. I mean, talk about like devastating your life.
And SG Records is saying screenshot is not allowed. Video is a bunch of frames together. Screenshot is only one frame. So why is it different? I'm not sure, brother, if you know about the issue between Gary Roberts and Ryan Bowen. Ryan Bowen used the entire video. We're not talking about screenshots here. He used the entire video right from the beginning till the end, and he just explained what is happening. He did his commentary, and Gary Roberts issued a copyright, and Ryan Bowen claimed that no, this is fair
Yes.
use, recheck it. And YouTube
Yeah.
rechecked it and they gave their decision in favor of Ryan Bowen that yes, it is fair use. So I'm
I
not sure
remember
if
Gary going nuts about it. You know.
yeah, so I'm not sure if a screenshot, if you complain about screenshot not being fair use, Roman, I'm not sure that it is going to stand in front of the issuer of the strike even 1 out of 100 times. I'm not sure about that. So, all right, thanks, man. Are you going to beat your opponent in on January 21st? Rustam
If you
Babayev.
don't, if you don't know my pattern by now, Pradeep, if you don't know the answer to that question right now, I don't even know if I need to take a flight. I will do my best. I am heading to the gym right now to I'm going to watch film while I'm at the gym because I really need to speed myself up with everything, Rustam. Like I know him, but I need to see like a lot more. And I'm going to go today. I'm going to start crafting my approach where I need to shore things up to do the best that I possibly can. At the end of the day, it's like,
Mhm.
you know, a lot of people are saying like, well, Rustam's on another planet, you know, and rightfully so, people should be saying that. But when Engin calls you and says, hey, Rustam agreed to pull you, do you want to do it? You don't say no. It's just like John. Like, listen, LeBron wants to play you in one-on-one in your backyard. Are
Backyard.
you going to do it? Absolutely. Is he going to shut me out? Maybe, you know, maybe I score a little bit. Who knows? But at least I get the experience. And it's my job as an athlete and as a professional to provide the best possible version of myself out of pure respect for Rustam and Engin. And that's what I'm going to set out to do.
All right, man. I know you're in a hurry. You need to go to gym. I'm gonna let you go now. And best of luck. I'm not sure if should say best of luck because probably we are going to do 10 more live streams together by
Yeah.
the time your match arrives. So
I
I'll
got
say
some
that.
other interesting stuff that might be secretive too that you might want to talk about here coming up. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We got more stuff to talk about.
for sure, for sure. Thanks, brother. Thanks.
All right.
All right. I'll read some comments now. Okay. It's going to be the toughest match Paul has ever had. Yeah. Keep picking against Paul and he keeps winning. That's interesting. I always pick Paul in to lose and he always wins. So I'm going to pick him to lose this time as well. Ryan's case was different. I know how hard it is to battle with YouTube regarding monetization. Trust me, I know what YouTube means as reused content. Yes, I agree, brother. I agree. But your content is getting claimed for use because you yourself are doing just some editing. You don't use your voice, you don't use your face in the videos, you just edit the hell out of that video. YouTube still doesn't consider it as fair use and they will claim it as reused content. That is different when you add your voice or your video on top of that. The main thing that the court will see. I'm not talking about YouTube because Gary Roberts could have counterclaimed that no, this is my content and I'm going to take you to court. Then YouTube is going to tell them, well, you're going to have to go to court to simplify this to get further decision because we told you what our decision was. Then Gary Roberts has to go to court for that video and then they will decide what happened. And I'm not even sure if courts can order something from one country to another country. If YouTube gives your decision in favor of you, I don't think court can do anything. Like the PewDiePie diss track about India and Indians. So T Series about. So T Series took them to court, and what court did? Well, okay, that video will not be viewed in India anymore. That video is banned in India. That's all. That's all our court can do. So even if Gary Robert decided to take him to court, what YouTube would have done, okay, what the court could have done is that, well, just don't show this video in USA or give him the revenue from the views from USA. I don't think they can do much more than that. And the only thing that court is going to look at in this matter is, did you use more than you needed to? That is the only thing, the most important thing for claiming fair use, is that did you use more than you needed to use to explain that topic. If you used more, I think, which is easily identifiable, then it doesn't come under fair use. And I don't think screenshot is, but again, the arm wrestling community, we are getting so much support from these organizers. Like if Engin just, I can guarantee you, if Engin just says that please do not do this, okay, then I think the main YouTubers, the famous ones, Ryan Bowen, me, Aussie arm wrestler, Krasimir Kostadinov, we're just not going to do those live commentary. This is the only thing. You need to just come up with a video on YouTube and request. That's all, without like Devon calling those people douchey and everything. You have a good point, brother. Robert Gold, in my opinion. Hello, Pradeep. Akansh Shetty. Hello, brother. You never know what court can do. It's always different in different cases. I'm third year law student, so I don't think courts in most of the matter like have anything like these. The what do we call it, trademarks and everything, even they don't have any value outside of your country. Like you just cannot do anything if let's say if WWE has a trademark, WWF, like there was a trademark issue why WWE changed the name from WWF to WWE. I think World Wildlife Federation, it was, whatever it was, I think it was in the same country, if I'm not wrong. The trademarks also do not work outside of the country. I've heard that. So if you claim, let's say Armwrestling. Neil Pickup claims that Armwrestling is my trademark. I can only use it in my. I am the only one who can use it. Well, I can sit here in India and buy a trademark for Armwrestling. I think again, or even if I don't buy it, him having a trademark registered in his own country is going to have zero control over me using that name in my country. This is how things work. I There are literally almost slim to zero rules that apply across the border. Hello, bro. Late here, but why can't I see your live stream of East versus West 5? I think it is there. It is there. You should see it if you go to the live tab. Yep. 66.3 thousand views. It is there. I honestly don't like the direction it is going. Sports need to be free. I think it is, of course, if Engin says that publicly to everyone, I'm going to comply, but it is a bad decision. It is a bad decision. Trying to curb literally free publicity. Just don't think about this event. Like 70,000 views about completely talking about East versus West for 8 hours. It is free publicity. And then I got this dumbest, one of the dumbest. I read a lot of dumb comments. This is why I've stopped reading many comments on my channel, and it is getting nearly impossible for me to read comments. And one of the dumbest comments is, well, you turn on ads on your live stream and you earn money from it. If you turn off the ads and don't make money from those live streams, then it is going to be okay. What kind of stupid thing is that, man? This one of the dumbest comments I've ever read. People do not have problem with us I'm talking about people who write comments. They do not have a problem with us talking about it. Their major problem is that we are making money talking about it. That is the big problem that they have. Pradeep, could you make a moderator? Okay, here you go. Your moderator once again, Roman. I boosted Pradeep's live stream to all the live streams. Thanks, brother. You have always been supporting. Harvey Winston, ask musicians how they feel about this kind of thing. Arm wrestling is not to this point, but we can hope it will get close. Which point? Harvey, I didn't understand your point. What is the purpose of doing a live commentary parallel to the live stream? Parallel to the live stream. So the purpose is that those people who are not buying, who have decided that they cannot afford the pay-per-view, or maybe they have to drive during that time, or they have to do whatever, they cannot afford the pay-per-view, for them to listen to our commentary. And most of the, if I get 1,000 viewers, 400 of them tell me that they have purchased the pay-per-view as well, and they're watching their in two different devices side by side. They're not looking into Demonlet, Engin Terzi. They are not looking into this matter. Like literally every time till the time I announce the matches on my channel, I get the results on the chat. People are watching two live streams, one East versus West pay-per-view live stream, and on other phone, on my live stream on other phone. They're always watching. I would say at least 20-30% of them have bought the pay-per-view as well. Nobody's talking about this number. They just think, well, 1100 people are watching Pradeep's live stream. Those 1100 could have purchased the pay-per-view if he was not doing this live stream. It doesn't work like that. It simply doesn't work like that. Mark Skigar is saying, I don't only enjoy Pradeep, I enjoy all of you. Okay, I enjoy being a part of this entire party. And yes, exactly. I like to see reaction and the mainstream. This is exactly why. If Engin Terzi, like, if I have watched the matches, in even after the matches, the thing that we talk about the matches afterwards, if I watched all of the matches, still Demonlet uploads a video, my reaction about East versus West 5, or my reaction about King of the Table 5, or Engin Terzi uploads a similar video, my reaction about my thoughts about King of the Table 5. Engin and Devon, they always upload these videos, but now I don't know why they have a problem with people uploading. Maybe it is because of the screenshots that we use. Okay, that is another thing. Just ask, hey, I don't care if it comes under fair use or not, but we would like you not to use the screenshots. But I think they have gone to a level where they may even ask that please do not even upload the reviews at all. That is going to be an impossible thing. You're doing great work, brother, Mr. Rabbit is saying, but somehow I feel like you don't like being criticized. In this topic, there is no criticism. There is no criticism. I don't like being criticized when the person who is criticizing doesn't provide a solution. If you know what I'm doing wrong, then you should also know what I should be doing right. So I always, to me, I have a simple equation. If somebody is telling you that you suck, I just laugh at those comments, and I don't take those criticisms well at all. You're correct. For me to take criticism well, you have to provide me what is the problem and what can be the solution for that. Then I'm going to take your criticism into account. Otherwise, no. Arm wrestling is going to be new WWE in 10 years. It is always already going that way. Already going that way. Even WWE referees will send the the corner men off. They would order them out of the arena if they are being too much, they're annoying the referee too much. But apparently not so much in arm wrestling. People like to criticize WWE, calling them fake actors, scripted event, which it is. But even those fake actors would send the corner person off if they're being too much annoying for the referee. But not in arm wrestling. I am of the same mind with Mark on this matter. I will not allow Pradeep's live stream to be blackmailed. I'll boycott East versus West if the ban is carried out. Yeah, I read a similar comment from Mark as well. He was also saying that he's going to boycott pay-per-views if they ban. Pradeep would flash Devon. This is why I didn't like this comment from Devon. And people are saying, well, he didn't mention your name. Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. But he's saying people who these live streams are douchey. I'm doing these live streams, and there is absolutely 0% chance that Devon doesn't know that I'm doing these live streams. Of course he knows. So of course I would think that Devon was talking about me as well. I don't see why. I've got hundreds of comments. Well, Devon didn't take your name, then why are you mad at him? If there are literally 5 people in the world who is doing something, and you say that those people who are doing this thing are douchey, and you very well know who are the 5 people who are doing these things, then of course those all 5 of them are going to think that he was talking about me as well. I don't know where the misunderstanding part is in that. I purchase pay-per-view and listen to, this is the problem right now. And the entire arm wrestling community, everyone, including East versus West, King of the Table, everyone, they're just thinking that we YouTubers are making money off their events, which is 100% true. We are doing that based off of their events, but they completely decide to ignore the other part, that the free promotion that they are, it is not like they are giving us the money. We are getting the money from advertisers, whatever company ad, like, let me click on that ad. Just let me click on it. Okay. All right. You may have gotten some ad. Please let me know. What ad did you see? Please just comment in the comment section which was the ad that was just shown to you now. I made money off that ad. 96 people watching, maybe 50 of you got some ad. I made some money off that. King of the Table didn't pay me this money, or East versus West didn't pay me this money. Then I don't think they should have a problem with us earning money from the advertisers. Advertisers are paying us that money. I have 0 friends that are intro arm wrestling. Live commentary streams are a great way for me to connect with. Okay, yeah, thanks Lagya. This is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with, and same for me as well. I do not have any friends maybe in 100-kilometer radius from me whom I can go with and enjoy these live streams. No ad for me, no ad for me. Okay, some of you may have gotten an ad. Uber ad. Okay, Akansh Shetty is saying Uber ad. So Uber paid me that money. Uber paid YouTube about 55%, 45% of the money, and 55% goes to me. No arm wrestling. I didn't take this money from arm wrestling. And people who are so generous like JR Williams, Robert Gould, and Mark Skigera, they're giving us super chats. It is their money. It is still not the promoter's money. We are not taking anything from them. Just because we are earning some money talking about their events, it doesn't mean that they have the right to claim, well, they're making money because of us. No, we are also promoting the event. If there was no YouTubers, East versus West, King of the Table wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't be a thing. Pradeep, what are your thoughts on Devon fanboys? Has Devon bought his very own boat farm to shill for him and post feel good Devon comments and likes? No, there was a thing like that. I don't think he's bought anything, but there were many blind fanboys, I would say, till about a year ago. But now the arm wrestling community has gotten so smart that if Devon says something that doesn't make sense, then they are going to rebuttal. Like, just I always mention this thing. Just go back to the couple of videos that Devon on request tried to upload about defending Uncle John, and nobody agreed with him. So I don't think that is working anymore. And a big thanks to the European arm wrestling community. Like they were two extremes. This side of the community was extreme. Like whatever Devon does, we hate him. This time, whatever Devon says, whether it makes any sense or not, we are going to support him. Devon said, then it must be true. So these two were extremes, and they started pulling towards each other. And in last 1 year, I think people have come to a lot of sense where they just realize and analyze both of the sides, like what Devon is saying. Either they, and then they decide if it is correct or not. So I think it was a problem, but I don't think it is a problem now. Like people blindly supporting their hero, whatever he's saying, whether it makes sense or not. I think that problem is already almost solved, and it is going to get better in the future. And it sometimes needs the arm wrestler who has those blind fans to make some mistakes, and when they make some mistakes, the other part of the community capitalize on that, and then the thing that kind of gets equalized. If they do not make any mistake, then it will be really difficult. I have YouTube Premium, so no ads. Yeah, I also have YouTube Premium. What's the ratio of male and female fans of arm wrestling? Any polls? Okay, yeah, I think we can easily get that stat. Just ask any YouTube channel and they'll tell you the data. For my channel, I think it is about a little over 2% female, and I think it is the same for every channel. Let me just check. Okay, last 28 days. I'm not going to look at last 28 days. Let's say last 365 days. So male is saying male population is 97.4%, female 2.5%, and user specified is 0.1%. I don't know what this user specified is. And if we talk about age, 13 to 17 years, 0.9%, 18 to 24, 18.9%, 25 to 34, that is the biggest number, 25 to 34, 36.4, 35 to 44 is 26.5, then 11, 3, above 65 is 1.7. Harvey Weinstein, shutting down live commentary oblique watch along is a huge mistake because it is inevitable as long as the sport continues to grow like we want it to. I agree with you, brother. Solid haircut. I literally trimmed my hair myself, brother, yesterday. Performance enhancing pancakes. You're someone who knows a lot about YouTube. You have 10,000 plus subscribers and probably getting more views than any other YouTuber right now. So I'd like to ask you. Of course, you are not doing those live streams, so you may have a different opinions. But from your experience, what do you think about it? What do you think about you getting multiple strikes? What was the reason for that? And what do you think about these live stream commentaries being requested to be taken down, or not being done in the future? PEP versus Pradeep. I may have a feeling just from listening to his voice that he may be a bigger guy than me. Like let's see what he says. Some may not buy pay-per-view because of live commentary is the issue, but other argument is people also buy because of a live commentary. I had see this is the thing I'm telling you. Grip and Drip Arm Wrestling. He uploaded Devon Led calls out Aussie Arm Wrestler and Pradeep. I don't know why he didn't mention Ryan Bowen, because Ryan Bowen is the biggest live stream commentator. He has not done it in past 3 events. Why? Because he was himself there. It was not possible for him to do the King of the Table event and a couple of East versus West events. So there has never been an event on which Ryan Bowen has not commentated. So that's the thing. PP will do live streams with me someday, hopefully, Harvey Weinstein is saying. Pradeep, when are you planning on competing? Would love to see you in Pro Punjab League. I have a very... But I've seen one guy, like when I went to my first tournament in 2019, and now he's arm wrestling one of the top Indian guys. I think he was in under 18 at that time, or under 21. I don't know. It was my first tournament, and he was competing for some time, and I was controlling him. Like if I allowed him to initiate, he was top rolling me easy, but I was controlling him easily with the left arm. He was under 20 years of age, I think, and about 7-8 kilos lighter than me. Now in just 2-3 years, like he's one of the top guys. So I'm like, maybe I can also do something, because whenever I go up against these experienced arm wrestlers, even those who are like 20 kilos lighter than me, they beat me. They beat me. Let's try and get this channel to 20k before King of the Table. No, before King of the Table, we have East versus West, JR Williams. And you're one of the most supportive subscribers on this channel. How can you forget? We have East versus West before King of the Table. Mark, you are the auto suggest for the emoji is hot dog. Once I start my arm wrestling channel, that is okay. Once you start, I don't think PEP has answered. Nope, he hasn't. Maybe he doesn't want to. People listen to radio commentary when there is so much happening and can't see the match. Yeah, that's again. If there I have not seen anyone like, well, we cannot purchase the cable subscription for this month. That is why we are going to just listen to radio commentary for cricket. It is every time whenever there is not electricity, whenever there is a power cut, this is when people choose to watch the live commentary. And those who think that they do not have the money to buy the pay-per-view and they listen to our live stream, do you think they are going to purchase the pay-per-view? Suddenly there is going to there is some money that is going to appear in their pockets if we do not do live streams. That is, maybe we'll do a poll or something on this channel. I think that almost everything we do will increase pay-per-view sales in the end. I would think that live commentary would only generate more hype. Exactly my point, brother. Just talking about the matches, just talking about the East versus West matches. Let's say Engin Terzi's YouTube channel got like 500,000 views. Now combine all of the YouTubers that are talking about the events. That takes the number to like maybe 2-3 millions of views. No, a promoter, especially in this stage, they just cannot promote. This is what Don Idris said about the arm wrestling community, that the arm wrestling community is so good that they just need to announce the matches. When have you ever seen King of the Table promote their matches? Just tell me when. Do they have a YouTube channel? Do they have an Instagram page, but they just upload a couple of photos before the event, and those photos are also uploaded when, like, how many likes they have? Less than 1,000 likes. King of the Table is not doing any promotion, and that is why Don Idris, core sports owner, he said that the best thing that he has never seen in any sport is the ability of arm wrestling community to promote the match. You just need to announce a match, and arm wrestling community does the promotion. What happens when you start shutting down the YouTubers like that? What happens after that? I'm not sure. To me, the live commentary just gives us a place to hang out with other pullers while watching. And this is again, if Engin Terzi is watching, if Don Idris, if Devon Laird is watching this live stream, why is nobody mentioning the fact that 30-40% of the people who are watching these live streams have bought the pay-per-view anyways? Just watch any of the live stream. Before I talk about that match, there are results in the chat. People have bought it. They just want to listen to me as well, what I have to say. And this is what happens with everyone. If I watch the match, I want to know what Coach Ray has to say about that match. I want to know what Engin Terzi has to say about that match. I want to know what Devon Laird has to say about this match. This is something that everyone is missing for some reason. Doing live commentary automatically scoop up an extra 1,000 viewers who would have totally missed the event otherwise, and they're probably going to buy the next event. Another thing, I got many comments that I was not sure that if I was ever going to buy a King of the Table or a Core Sports pay-per-view, but I watched your live commentary and I got hyped up, and I decided that I'm going to buy the pay-per-view next time for sure, because I felt that I'm missing out on something. Nobody talks about these topics. Whoever is advising Engin Terzi on this topic about shutting down live streamers, I'm quite sure he doesn't talk about these things. Pradeep, stay away from SG during after pull. SG is looking ripped and doing 200 push-ups a day. Stay away. And I'm going to kill SG records. I'm going to kill him. He's probably the only guy in arm wrestling that I can beat. The only guy. I cannot beat anyone else. Mythagoras. Thank you very much, brother, for your super chat. Thanks, brother. Don't underestimate Pradeep. He isn't competing or else. Man, I really worse shape in my life. I tried doing some pull-ups and I could do 6 pull-ups. I could do 4 years ago I was able to do 2-3 pull-ups with single arm. Now I can do 3 pull-ups with both arms. That is how pathetic of a shape I am in right now. I think I can improve. Obviously I can't track this, but I would think that all of the pay-per-view YouTubers cause the majority of the pay-per-view sales, like Don said. I agree. Buy ticket, Pradeep. Yep, I'm going to see you. Okay, after pool, Engin Terzi, book it. Not on the official card, but maybe an hour before, maybe on Engin Terzi's YouTube channel, Pradeep versus SG Records, like like a undercard, not on the pay per view, but on Engin's YouTube channel live, Pradeep versus SG Records, or on my channel, or on Roman's channel, or on all of those channels. Book it. Do you want to see this match? I'm going to kill that little guy. How much do you weigh, Roman? 70 kilos? I'm going to come in at 78, 79 kilos ripped. I've never been ripped in my life. I don't know why I just said that. How old are you, Pradeep? 27, 28, whatever you want. One of them is an actual age, one of them is my age in documents. 27, 28, whatever you want to call. Will there be a Pradeep for Bowen match when Pradeep is 40 and Blowen is 60? Pradeep, no, I don't think so. Maybe. I do think that the result videos and live commentaries do help a lot more people. Yes, spoilers, this is what nobody's talking about. Another thing, please, just what I'm about to say, there is an option of YouTube clip or maybe screen record. Somebody send this to Engin or I'll send it to myself. Spoilers, if there were no spoilers, nobody would purchase the pay-per-view. No one. Like if Engin said, okay, we are going to block everything, nobody is going to see the results, nobody is going to see the photos of the matches, nothing, everything is secret, and I'm going to release the matches 4 days after the event. Then for everyone is going, they're not going to buy the pay-per-view. Spoilers are the biggest thing that force people to buy the pay-per-view. If we knew that nobody's going to talk about the results, we can just open our YouTube like always. We're not going to see the results, and we are going to see the matches 4 days later on Angiter's YouTube channel. Then who the hell is going to buy the pay-per-view? I wouldn't. Why does it matter? For me, when it gets uploaded on Engin's channel, it is live. If I do not know the results, 3 days later, 4 days later, I get to see the match. For me, it is as good as live. What is the difference then? Spoilers are the main thing that force people to buy the pay-per-view. And if we try to stop people from talking about the reviews of the matches, the results of the matches, that is what pisses people off to buy the pay-per-view. Like, why did you tell me the results? I wanted to see it myself. Well, then buy it the next time. And nobody's talking about these things. Pradeep inside coach gay. Pradeep versus Roman is in petite weight class. Roman Mark saying 5'8" SG big soccer fan. In mornings I'm 174. I'm 2 kg lighter and 3 kg short. 2 kg, okay, 3 centimeters shorter than you. Than me, Lagya. Then you may be stronger, way stronger than me, even if you don't train, because I'm kind of fat at that weight. No, but now I'm heavy. Now I'm like 86, 87 kilos. Pradeep, one solution might be that you do live stream commentary on East versus West channel, all donation. No, that is not the thing. I'm not sure if their claim is that it is going to reduce the number of pay-per-view sales. It is going to reduce the sales even if I do it on East versus West channel as well. It doesn't matter. Thank you for the comment. Thank you. At least you're thinking in this direction, but I don't think it can happen. I don't think it will matter. AV Kesor Farid Akaya from Turkey, 20 Turkish lira. Thank you very much, brother. No worries. Engin said you are in the family, bro. Of course. Engin is like my best friend in arm wrestling. Pradeep versus Roman. This is why I said I absolutely do not like this idea at all. But just because Engin Terzi is a big friend, he's like a legend, a mentor in the sport, I'm gonna have to listen. If Engin says you should not do this, of course I cannot do that. This is why I'm shouting here, so that Engin knows every picture. Right now, he's only thinking in one direction. He's trying to think about ways how live streams can hurt the pay-per-view. Maybe after he listens to this live stream, he starts to think about the ways how these live commentaries can help the pay-per-view as well. This is all I want. Savage Tripper is saying, do you think stem cells would fix your bring bung accent? Okay, Savage Tripper, what has your accent done for you? Like, how has it helped you ever in your life to do anything? Just tell me. Tell me whatever you are doing right now, financially, socially, everything, anything, and how that would have been affected if you had a accent like me. I don't think it would have made any difference. And I don't think you are making it any better for yourself just by having the accent that you are having right now. And only stupid, dumbass people who complain about accents are the one who can only speak one language. In my entire life, at least in this YouTube life, I'm yet to find one person who can speak more than one language and he complains about accents. Just try to find one. You cannot. I can literally guarantee you that Savage Tripper can only speak English. He cannot speak any other language. So you are talking who you're talking about a person's accent who can speak probably three languages and you know one language. That's it. How about you try to learn another language and ask the native speakers of that language to judge your accent? Then we'll see what's happening. How many kids do you have? Zero. Akash Shetty, that was, yep, always monolingual people. I agree. I agree. I work in sales. Pradeep, I'm from Ireland. My accent helps me a lot with Americans who love our accent and think they're Irish. Pancakes, okay. Angin will change his mind if you tell him your name. Make sure you are better than Turkish accent. Thank you again for your super chat, brother. So he's shorter than his size stripper. That was rude as hell. No, that was not rude. That was like illogical and like just a dumb comment. Just a dumb comment. If if Savage Tripper can speak three languages and he has perfect accent in all of those, and then he's telling me that your accent sucks, I'm just going to bow down to him and I'm going to listen from now on whatever he tells me, at least about languages and stuff. But there is exactly 0% chance of that happening. One of the things I would support is waiting one day to post results immediately after the match. I think it's too soon. There, you look at performance enhancing pancakes. You look at me. You look at Ryan Bowen. You look at these YouTubers who have gotten famous now. You don't know hundreds and thousands of new accounts that have been created. How are you going to stop that? Just because we do not upload, they are going to get all of the views, and it wouldn't matter at all. That's the problem. You cannot stop everyone, and you cannot really stop anyone from posting the results. That's the problem. Did we get any comment from Tripper? Different accents are awesome. Okay. But to be fair, if I hear Aussie accent, I tend to think they they know what they're talking about. Okay. So when you hear Indian accent, you don't think we know what we're talking about? I'm from Canada, don't even notice people accents. Yeah. Pradeep, when will we meet Mrs. Singh? I don't think ever. Ever. I don't like when people bring their wives on live streams or videos when they have nothing to do with arm wrestling. I just hate it. I just hate. So probably never. Devon's the bald guy. Tripper has gone silent. Tripper is going for French learning classes. Tripper has already started learning the second language. No Indian accent always also sounds smart to me. Got it. Chance. Hey Chance. Chance Shaw is here. Is he? Oh, Chance Shaw, what's up? Oh man, how are you doing? If you want to talk about this topic, Chance, I have been live for almost 1.5 hours. If you want to talk about it, then I can send you a link. Chance Shaw is in the house. Kamusta Kabyan. What does this mean? I was reading it as Kama Sutra. Chance Shaw is in the house. Dropped the H. Sorry. Okay. Anyone know the movie? What movie reference is that? I don't know. I don't know. Who cares about accent when you can speak fluently? All my boys are in here. Okay. What's this talk about wives? About wives whose wife is with who I missed. No. Somebody asked like when are we going to see Mrs. Singh or Mrs. Arm Wrestling News? I don't know what they mentioned, and I was like, never, never. No, not Paul and Rustam. The topic of live stream commentary being good or bad about pay per view sales, for pay per view sales. So to that I answered that you're never going to see her on this channel, because this channel is not about her. This is about arm wrestling. Artem said he will learn English during his upcoming off-season break. That is good. That is good. You will never see Artem complain about the accent if somebody tries to speak his language, Russian. Chance it is a live stream debate. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, guys. I think I'm going to end this live stream here. It was an amazing decision. I think this live stream should reach to some people, because the entire almost, I would say more. Okay, Savage Tripper has some commented something. It's amazing you said that, dude, because I do speak 3 languages without accents. I was born French. Anyways, I look forward to you. Send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram right now. Send me your audio in French. Savage Ripper. Instagram, Arm Wrestling News. I need to check. I don't think you're telling the truth. I think you're lying at least 90%, I'm sure. Arm Wrestling News Instagram, send me an audio message in 3 different languages. I'll be really, really, really thankful if you do that. But I don't think you will. But I did have really bad accents and I sounded ridiculous. You're just making things up. You're just making things up. I'm waiting for your just say, okay, Chan Shaw doesn't have a huge opinion on this topic. Fair enough. Arm Wrestling News, I'm waiting for your message. You're basically just to pronounce some letters differently. Who it is W and V, because in use your accent comes from your native language. If you learn English from Hindi, your English is going to sound a lot like Hindi. And in Hindi, W and V, it is the same thing. There is no separate pronunciation for both of these. Like for D, the. For D, we have 3 different pronunciations. And for English speakers, it sounds weird. To them, it sounds almost the same. Just like for us Indians, W and V, they sound the same. For like the 3 different pronunciations, which are crystal clear. Like the difference is crystal clear in all the 3 different D pronunciations for us. Like dirty, a D is in dirty, but Dubai is different. So there are 3 different D pronunciations like that. And to native English speakers, it is almost the same. So it happens with everyone. It happens with everyone. Artyom. That name is difficult to pronounce. If I started making fun about, like, 90% of the North Americans cannot even pronounce the names of European arm wrestlers. Artyom Morozov. Artyom. Like, very few people can pronounce that name correctly. At the end of the day, though, it's Engin's event and he can run it however he wants. I'll be happy either way. I just love to watch the events. Correct. Savage Tripper. Are you on Facebook? Pradeep. Same name, Pradeep. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I'm going to end this live stream here. Lots and lots of discussion. It was amazing. It was amazing. Thanks.